Monday, May 14th, 2018. We're going to take a quick look at my Facebook page here. There's a few photos from this morning and where the severe weather was expected. Anyways, basically here what I'm saying is I was talking to my wife about how we hadn't had a thunderstorm here in quite a while. And basically, as soon as I said that Saturday to her, about an hour or so later, the thunder started rolling. Then we had one last night, and it's calling for them all week with an enhanced risk today in Cumberland, Maryland. A tornado touched down to the northwest of us in Clarksville, Pennsylvania on Saturday. We could see our first tropical storm this week in the southeast. Florida is going to get hammered regardless. All right, so there's that. And for anybody else, there's a picture of me if you're wondering if I'm real or not. And, here's the damage from the tornado in Pennsylvania. I'm going to try to roll through here. There's a helicopter. It was flying above Wills Mountain. They were looking for an escaped inmate today when pigs fly. But anyways, and then here, all right, we're just going to keep moving right on we'll start with my photos here. I'm going to try to make it through this video pretty quick because I know how people's attention spans are. Okay, here's from this morning. And as you can see from the mountains, you can see the water vapor going up from the trees in the creek. Here, this is upper level. That's from airplanes, that mess there. There's from this morning, next red. And look at this here, this filth over Georgia and Carolina, or South Carolina this morning. Could have been a tropical storm. I think it petered out. We'll take a look at that here in a second. Now here's a microwave imagery map. I caught this anomaly right there. Usually this shoots up from Antarctica, hits Africa, and then shoots west to the east coast. There's some island there. I know down here is the Rothschild Island. And I've seen a picture. There is 6 SBX-1s down there. Very, very large or powerful radars. Move on. Faster. Same there. There's where the enhanced, we were in enhanced risk. Now my video didn't upload to my Google page here, or my Google Photos, but this is from our sky today. There's the helicopter, Trooper 5. Alright, you can see, now here was one interesting, here, turn this off, or down. But anyways, what you see here is I caught a plane. He started spraying and then turned off. You'll see him here like a white dot when the sun hits him. Right there, right there. Right? See him? Okay. But anyways, as you see, this is just a short trail he laid. Started right there. And then he turned off air. So, that's not condensation because you can see all the filth and the haze from the other planes right in front of him. So, it's not like it's a humidity pocket there or whatever they trolls try to tell you. Now, here's a good, I'll get into this on a comment. I'll show you how to deal with trolls, right? But here's 10 ways that we can modify the weather today from Jim Lee. And I'll cover, if you want to learn more about weather mod, I just like showing the weather as is, day by day. If you want to know what you're seeing, I try on a video here and there to show you a little better, but, you got to put all this together yourself. And here's all the technologies, right? sounding rockets, which are connected to the ionospheric heaters because they have to set the sounding rockets off, which they usually announce in the newspaper. Last summer, they launched one from Wallops Air Force Base in Virginia, and they go up and they spray lithium, barium, but depends on what time of the day because they got to be able to see it up here. And they got to launch this stuff up here, the metallic salts, in order to make HARP-like devices work, which is an ionospheric heater. Okay, they need a medium up here, which is the metallic salts that, sounding rockets. We have an ATK orbital, here locally, and they build these sounding rockets right there. Right? But you got all this, lasers, commercial airline, contrails, ship tracks, which they're disgusting. You can see them cover nearly the whole ocean. I've covered a lot of this. And we'll keep moving on. Some pictures from today. And then here a cut. Now, I did have a video, it didn't upload to my photos, but I was out there and I caught it. There's the lightning from just, I don't know, about a good hour ago, 5:30 maybe. Yeah. And then that's probably the most current right there. So we'll move on. Now, take a quick look at the weather here. Just run through so you can see where these storms are popping up. And as you can see, they were right. We got another thunderstorm today. Big explosion over Maryland, Virginia. Look at that. Oof. Some people call them chem bombs. I don't. What I call chem bombs are these long, wispy trails. Next red activity from the past 24 hours. Bzzz. This current. This current over Maryland. Look at that cooking. Let me see the shock waves off of it. Now here is, I think I opened it, a pyro CB. I don't know, I never heard of that. From the Mallard Fire in West Texas, ends up producing 1-inch hail. Okay, we'll get back and look at that. And you'll notice a lot of these fires, especially these larger ones, they'll produce weather systems because smoke, well, I guess it depends on what they're burning, but smoke usually produces cloud condensation nuclei through the ash and soot, which makes an excellent cloud seed. Now, I guess if you burn certain types of stuff and the aerosols are too small in size or whatever, it dries up the atmosphere, but not this one. It's almost like they're adding something to it, but that's just my speculation. Now that we've scrolled through all that, I want to take a look at trolls. How to deal with trolls. Okay. Now this is an information article they put up about how the U.S. had its coldest April in more than 20 years. Okay. So I started out by saying, what happened to global warming? Did the FAA fix it already? They said they wanted to produce more heat-blocking clouds during the day and none at night, which is bull because I see them making clouds at night. It's more for strict controlling the weather rather than solar radiation management. It's why there's been a drought in California. The contrail pollution creates a capping inversion layer which prevents atmospheric lift, halting precipitation. Okay, now I want to go over here to YouTube and I'm going to show you a few weather guys. Now, go ahead and say they're smarter than me because, they've done all this research and put it all, I guess they didn't put it all together. I'm trying to put it all together here for them. Dutch Sense, He does stuff on NextRad, but he does earthquake forecasting, so I would check this feller out, Dutch Sense. Jim Lee, he's got weather modification history and climateviewer.com and .org with a 3D map. It maps all this stuff out. I can't use it anymore. I don't know why, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you to look at his site, Dutch Sense, Jim Lee. Weather War 101, he does a good deal on cooling towers and NextRad. And One Pacific Redwood, he covers the West Coast, specifically California, in the drought. And when I said, right, oh shit, I closed that. Let's see if it opens up real quick. Go back to here. Okay. Oh, please tell me it takes so long. But yeah, that's what I said right here about the capping inversion layer. He covers this all the time. He'll sit there and tell you, he's like, well, all this moisture's coming in, there should be rain, but we'll be seeing airplanes spraying over top the moisture field, which I got right there. So, you got one, Redwood, Weather War 101, Jim Lee, Dutch Sense. Can't really think of anybody else. I mean, there's other weather people and people that document the skies, but educational wise, I would suggest these four between Dutch Sense, Jim Lee, Weather War 101, and One Pacific Redwood. Now back to dealing with a troll. Okay, so got that first thing there, right? And then this troll here, John, I don't even know how to say his name, but he says, you both have no business posting on this page. Just stay on your tinfoil hat pages. Okay. And I've done this with a couple people. I've uploaded this photo here that was created by Jim Lee Technologies. And we'll just put I'll just read what I said here. So what, you believe in carbon climate change, John? That's tinfoil hat thinking there. We've been tinkering with the weather for nearly 200 years now. There's plenty of documentation of it. Do you know how many nukes they've set off in the upper atmosphere after World War II? Do you know how many sounding rockets they have launched spraying chemtrails since 1963? Do you know what an ionospheric heater is? How many of them there are, and what all capabilities they have? Have you ever heard of cloud seeding? Do you know how many ground-based cloud seeders there are up and down the Rockies and how many months of the year they run? Do you know how many commercial air flights there are every day and what kind of fuel they are burning? Do you know what ship tracks are and how much of the oceans they cover? Do you know how many plants there are on Earth and how much heated water vapor a single cooling tower can pump up in a minute? Did you know they are launching a balloon this year and will be spraying sulfur in the stratosphere to simulate a volcanic eruption and will continue to do so once a year afterwards? Your childish tinfoil hat comment hurt my feelings so bad. You're completely uneducated on weather modification and geoengineering. Maybe you should start with some simple cloud physics or basic. Do you know how to use Google? I could sit here and drop links, but you seem to be the type that suffers from cognitive dissonance and wouldn't look into them. This planet is in sorry shape, and it's because of ignorant people such as yourself. And blah, blah, blah. And here I put, because a meteorologist wrote this, and since people don't believe anything unless an authority figure says it, here's a meteorologist commenting on NASA's engine test facilities that creates massive amounts of water vapor. And I believe I showed this on the last video, but we'll open up and look at what he says here. And basically he says, I will tell you weather modification and geoengineering does occur. As to what scale, it's hard to know. Typically, if you're trying to change the weather with planes or by other means, it might not be a good idea to tell too many people. If a storm gets out of hand or out of control and someone dies, our sue happy society will come after you. So basically what he's saying is, you know, these people don't want to be held liable, even though they're killing people, they're drowning people out, people are losing everything, you know, they worked for their entire lives. But assholes like this don't give a shit, you know, because he might work for, let's say, Monsanto or a fracking company. You know, it's these people don't give a shit about you, and this is why meteorologists aren't going to tell you, because they're making bank, okay, by telling Monsanto. You know what? I call them coaches. They're basically coaches. They're coaching these people that are in control of the weather, of how to create it. That's about all I wanted to cover. So thunderstorms throughout the week for us locally, and you can see these large explosions at the end here. Let's refresh it, and we'll close out on that. Or it's not even refreshing. But we'll just take a good look. Look at all this filth from planes surrounding this whole storm off here, Texas. And then, like this one again, with that volcano, it's going off Kilauea in Hawaii. And you see that's pretty dense sulfur right there. It's dark. But then also, like I showed before, these trails of sulfur. Now, I don't know whether they're probably most likely from ship tracks. And if there's something I can pull up. But yes, and there's another thing they do, and set fires intentionally. Okay, and they can do it with lasers. Now, to speak of the past and other weather modification techniques of the past, Indians back in the day used to set fires. And they did it for two reasons. They'd set a fire, well, because it would help it rain, and then B, they'd like to create fields of grass, so that deer and stuff would go to the grass, so they'd have a hunting area, so to speak. But anyway, that's my report.